This is Into Math 3rd grade, lesson 6.7. Apply division rules for 1 and 0. I can use properties and visual models to apply the rules for dividing with 1 and 0. Please gather your workbook and a pencil and turn to page 164. You can pause if you need. We will start under Build Understanding, Part 1. Ida has 5 muffins and 1 plate. She places an equal number of muffins on the plate. How many muffins are on the plate? All right, so Part A asks us to show equal groups. So we know that Ida has 1 plate. So we can draw that 1 plate. And then we also know that she has 5 muffins. So we can draw those 5 muffins on this plate. And now we have 5 muffins on 1 plate. Now let's take a look at Part B. What division equation can you write to model this problem? If you would like to pause and try this on your own and come back, you may do so. Otherwise, you can follow along with me. And so we have 5 muffins, and we want to divide those 5 muffins onto 1 plate. And when we do that, we find that there are 5 muffins on each plate, and that's an equal number on each plate, which is 1. So our division equation is 5 divided by 1 equals 5. Let's take a look at the next part, Part 2. Herb has 5 muffins and 5 plates. He places an equal number of muffins on each plate. How many muffins are on each plate? Part A, show equal groups. Well, again, we know that he has 5 plates, so we can draw those 5 plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also know that Herb has 5 muffins. So if he only has 5 muffins, then we need to put an equal amount on each plate. So let's just count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's all the muffins we have. So how many are on each plate? We see that there is only 1 muffin on each plate. Now let's look at Part B. What division equation can you write to model this problem? Well, we know that there were 5 muffins, and we needed to divide those muffins onto the 5 plates. And when we did that, we found that there was only 1 muffin on each plate. So that is our division equation. Now let's take a look at Part 3. Yin has 0 muffins, and he has 3 plates. How many muffins are on each plate? Part A, show equal groups. So let's start with how many plates. Let's draw those plates. 1, 2, 3. So we have shown that there were 3 plates. And then let's take a look at how many muffins. Oh, he doesn't have any muffins. So if he doesn't have any muffins, then we don't have any muffins to put on the plates, but the plates are still there. So let's take a look at Part B. What division equation can you write to model this problem? All right, if you'd like to pause and try this on your own, you're welcome to do that and come back. And then otherwise, you can just follow along with me. So first, we had 0 muffins. And then we wanted to divide those muffins by 3 plates. And when we did that, we found that there were 0 muffins on those plates. So this division equation is 0 divided by 3 equals 0. Let's take a look at the next page, page 165 under Step It Out. This workbook provides 4 rules, and they are listed under Step It Out, Rule A, B, C, and D. So we're going to take a minute to look at each rule and just connect it to the division that we just did on the other page, and then we'll practice it out with problems 4 through 7. Rule A states that any number divided by 1 equals that number. In Part 1, we saw a demonstration of this when Ida had 5 muffins and 1 plate, and she was able to put 5 muffins onto one plate. So this shows that any number divided by 1 will equal that same number, which 5 and 5 are the same. Now let's take a look at rule B. Any number except for 0 divided by itself equals 1. We saw a demonstration in part 2 where Herb had 5 muffins and 5 plates, and he was able to put 1, an equal amount, on each plate. So this rule shows that any number except for the number 0 divided by itself, which would be 5, is going to equal 1. Let's take a look at rule C. 0 divided by any number except for 0 equals 0. In this example 3, Yin had 0 muffins and 3 plates, and she had 0 muffins on each plate. So the rule here says that 0 divided by any number, in this case it was 3, except for 0, equals 0. The last rule, rule D, says you cannot divide by 0. We weren't given a word problem, but we can think about that for a second. Let's say that I have 3 muffins, but I don't have any plates. I have 0 plates. If we are asked to put the 3 muffins onto 0 plates, we cannot solve this problem because there aren't any plates. Rule D shows that you cannot divide by 0. All right, let's take a look at part 4 on page 165. Part 4, Lou divides 4 oranges equally into 4 bowls. How many oranges are in each bowl? If you'd like to pause and try this part on your own and come back to check your answers, you may do so, or follow along with me. So it asks us to write a division equation and solve that equation. So we have 4 oranges, and we are going to divide those oranges into 4 bowls. And if you need to draw a picture on the side, you're welcome to do that. But you will find that there's 1 orange in each bowl, and that is an equal representation of 4 oranges into 4 bowls. So we have written the division equation and solved it. And now this is kind of a fun part. It asks us to name the division rule. So we're going to look at these rules and find the one that matches. If you'd like to pause and try that, you may do that as well. And when you come back, you'll find that rule B matches this division equation. We have a number, any number, except for 0, divided by itself equals 1. Part 5, Joe divides 0 oranges equally into 5 bowls. How many oranges are in each bowl? Write a division equation and solve. Again, if you'd like to pause and come back, you may do so. So we have 0 oranges, and we want to divide them equally into 5 bowls. And when we do that, we find that the answer is there are 0 oranges in each bowl. Now again, we get to find and name the division rule from the list of rules under Step It Out. If you want to pause at this part, you can do that as well. And when you come back, you will find that the division rule, rule C, matches this division equation. 0 divided by any number, in this case it was 5, except for 0, equals 0. All right, let's try the next part. Part 6. Al divides 8 oranges equally into 1 bowl. How many oranges are in the bowl? They'd like us to write a division equation and solve, just as before. If you'd like to pause now, you may do so. And we will go through here. We have 8 oranges, and we are going to divide them into 1 bowl. And when we do that, we find that there are 8 oranges total in that bowl. So now we have written and solved the division equation, and now the fun part, we get to name the division rule. So if you'd like to pause again, you may do that. And when you come back, you'll find that rule A matches this division equation. Any number divided by 1 equals that number. All right, our final one here is part 7. And part 7 says, Bruce divides 2 oranges equally into 0 bowls. How many oranges are in 0 bowls? So we talked about this. When we have 2 oranges and we can't put them anywhere, there aren't any bowls or plates, we're trying to divide them by 0, we can't solve this. And the reason why is because there aren't any bowls. So we can explain our thinking that there are no bowls. And the last part asks us to name the division rule that explains what's happening in this situation. And we can select Rule D. You cannot divide by 0. Remember, you are always welcome to go back and re-watch this video and pause along the way as needed.